One guy, though, we know has belief in the Raiders all day, every day. The legend Brent Musburger joins us in studio. I know we love the Raiders, but can they get off to a better start, Brent?
It's been horrible.
It's been
rough.
It's
been 3 and out, you know. In fact, I think 3 out of the first 4 possessions against the Chargers Monday night went 3 out. There's a thing everybody knows. John Gruden, as a play caller, he scripts out, but he is a run first. He's an old school play caller. Okay. Now, when this happens and you get off to these bad starts, you have to go back and look at how you're scripting the plays, and you have to get away from that formula. In other words, they need to break away from it against the Bears on Sunday. We got a 1 o'clock start in Allegiant Stadium. This is strictly on the coaches. And one thing working against John and the run-first philosophy is that the offensive line clearly has not come together yet, okay? They had to replace 3 players on that offensive line, from the center to the right guard to the right tackle. Then the left guard goes out with an injury. Now suddenly you've got 4 new pieces in there, okay? And it's not working well. So you have to re-script. You have to break the kind of formations you're using. You've got to get tight ends over there with the young tackle on the right side. You've got to chip against the edge rushers like Joy. In other words, they have to change the way they start games. And honestly, it begins with the coaching staff. Mm-hmm. It's on them now to come up with a better plan. Down 2 touchdowns, you can climb back, as they demonstrated in the third quarter. Down 3, not so much. And they were down 21-0 at the half against the Chargers. So it was a very, very disappointing first half. But having said that, when they come back, okay, and then they are coming back down on the 51-yard pass to Ruggs, all right, they're in business down there. Mm-hmm. But suddenly they wind up with a 4th down. Carr gets sacked again. And I could second guess him, but John usually is right about long field goals. But this time Carlson missed, okay? And then the Chargers ran it down their throat. Now, defensively, the defense has been very much improved, but it has not stopped the run. And they better be ready to stop the run, because the one thing that Justin Fields can do is run. I mean, that's the one skill that he brings from Ohio State. He can do it as a quarterback.
Raiders 5.5-point favorites this week against the Bears. And the thing about this whole Justin Fields thing, I'm curious your thoughts just on the way that Matt Nagy has handled it. Because we talked about it before, and you said the people you talk to don't think that he's ready. Matt Nagy hasn't thought that he's ready. Now all of a sudden it's Justin Fields time and he's ready? I don't understand.
Clearly, the front office told him it's Justin Fields time, okay? There is no doubt. Because remember now, Nagy worked with Coach Reed in Kansas City, okay, when Mahomes was drafted. And Alex Smith was the quarterback. And Mahomes sat that first season. I think he started 1 game late in the year, which was an unimportant game. I think it was the only start as a rookie. Mm-hmm. Nagy brought that background with him to the Bears. So he wanted Dalton to quarterback the Bears this year and Fields to learn. It's a solid coaching philosophy. I don't have any problems with that. And that's what he expressed, okay? But when he suddenly comes out and says he's the quarterback going forward, he was told he's a quarterback going forward. Now, Bears don't have to sell tickets. They're always sold out in Chicago. It does, of course, make the youngster a little more secure, okay? If we look at this from Justin Fields' point of view as a person and not a quarterback, he's not thinking that when he goes out and he has 1 bad series and throws an interception, I'm out of here. He doesn't have to worry about, and that can help his confidence going forward. Also, the progress that he showed from game 1, which was one of the worst games any young quarterback's ever played.
1 net positive yard.
Exactly. Think about that. And game 2 was much stronger. So he's bringing a little bit to the party. And they really need him because they've lost Montgomery for the next few weeks, and he's their top running back, Stormy. So we shall see. But clearly, Nagy was told he's your quarterback. Okay, listen, there is a higher authority in the National Football League.
I feel like it's a bad look. We were kind of talking before the show starts that maybe you just need to have a little bit of a Bill Belichick in you to just hold it in. You know, if you're not sure, if you have differing of opinions, just hold it in. You don't need to tell everybody everything. Well,
if you win a half dozen Super Bowls, you can do it like Belichick. You know?
Okay, that's the excuse. That's the reason. Was wondering though also the Urban Meyer situation. Do you have an opinion on what's going on there?
Well, I am so disappointed. I know Urban Meyer. Mm-hmm. I like him as a person. I respect him as a coach. But this was idiotic. Number one, if you go 0-4, okay, you get your butt on that team plane and you go back to Jacksonville. I don't know if you want to come back to Columbus or Cincinnati, wherever you want to come, where you own bars, but you better be on that airplane, okay? You better be walking back and telling Trevor Lawrence not to be overly concerned, that we're still going to improve this situation. He stayed away from the team. Listen, I was with John Gruden's first year when we were losing badly on the road. John Gruden was always, as every coach is in the net. Now, the other thing is, Urban should know better than to have a little dolly dancing around him, okay? Listen, he's a grown man who's been around these teams, and he knows what social media can do now, okay? He understands that.
Well, and he was taking selfies with people, too.
Yeah,
like,
what's
it's
he
not like it's just
of?
like, you know that you're in this
who
position.
Was it? One of the coaches, is it Saban? I can't remember, Stormy. One of the great old coaches. Might have been Mac Brown or somebody. He told me that whenever a young lady came up and wanted a selfie, that he always grabbed someone else from the team to be with him, that it was always a 3-shot, never allowed himself. I think it was Mac who told me that when he was down at Texas when we were talking. Urban knows that. He's been around long enough. And if you're going to have a couple of cocktails, have them at home, okay? Don't be down there in the bars.
He's not a rookie head coach. He's not Lane Kiffin with the Raiders when he's 30.
I am terribly disappointed.
Yeah.
He has one person to blame for this predicament, and that's him, okay? Because he's looked upon as a failure from the start with the Jaguars. He's got to know what the opinion around the NFL is of what he's done so far. And now he has damaged his reputation, and we shall see. They threw him a lifeline. Khan's going to take another look at him and see what happens. But I could not be more disappointed. And if I'm a player in a locker room and you come into the meeting and you tell me I didn't know, I'm starting to laugh. I mean, these guys.
I heard that after he had his individual group, like position groups meetings yesterday, that some groups were laughing after he left.
Yeah, no question. Okay. So shame on him, and let's see what happens going forward.
Yeah, agree with you there. It's a tough situation.
Plus, listen, I feel bad. I feel bad for his wife. I know her too. I mean, listen, we know sexually what happens on both sides. We understand that. But you don't like it rubbed in your face. I mean, that's the situation.
I 100% agree with you. They do have a game this week,
the
of
Titans,
course.
and they're a dog at home. Home underdog. If you like those in the contest, the Titans are favored by 4. Not a good time to be playing the Titans. Bettors should keep an eye on the health of the Titans receivers, okay? They were without their 2 top targets last week in that upset loss. They go into Jacksonville. Jaguars, you and I were just talking during the break. Jaguars actually looked decent in the first half against the Cincinnati Bengals, and it got away from them in the second half. And so we shall see. I don't know, because of the internal disruption, because of Urban Meyer, I would not, and I love dogs, especially home underdogs, I would either pass or go with the Titans on this one, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, and Titans should be hungry after, like you said, the Jets game that got away from them, when you think on paper there's no way we should lose this game.
How about the Jets and the Giants winning on the same day in overtime?
And so
last night I say it's all New York, baby, and I'm all in on the Yankees. And now I got to have the Dodgers tonight bail me out so I can play Stormy's Giants.
Or maybe we don't need that to happen. Brent and I are at odds today. But hey, let's talk a little baseball here real quickly. What's your preview for Dodgers Cards tonight?
Well, obviously, I like Max Scherzer, even though he was not outstanding in his last start. I did give the 220. The Dodgers are favored. You got to lay 220 to win $1. I have great respect for Adam Wainwright. Used to live in Jupiter, Florida, where the Cardinals trained way back in the day. And I saw Wainwright pitch a lot of spring training games. He's almost as old as I am, but he's a crafty veteran. And if he gets through about the first 3 innings against the Dodgers, beware, okay? Because Adam Wainwright knows how to pitch. Now, Scherzer obviously has got better equipment right now at his age, so we shall see. The over-under at 7.5. Did you bet the over-under on the Yankee game last night?
I did. Yes, I bet the over
you
last
like those
night.
Overs?
I was like, come on, Giancarlo Stanton.
You love that third base coach?
Why didn't you hit it out?
You love that third base?
Crushing. And that's such a turning point in the game,
Absolutely.
too, because they're on the comeback trail, but
no, there's no question. There's no question. Now, you ever bet runs scored in the first inning like a goal when you recovered the Golden Knights?
I liked it. It's instant satisfaction, right?
Yeah. Well, yes. You get plus money tonight on Wainwright and Scherzer. Not a lot, but you get plus 110 on a run scored in the first inning. Now, I'm looking at the circuit because I grabbed the sheets on the way up here. I'm thinking DraftKings has probably got something that's very, very similar to that. No runs scored. They like to post that with a pitcher like Scherzer, obviously, minus 130. Run scored in the first inning is I think a fun bet, just like you say. Now, the first half of the game, okay, you can do that, and the 3.5 runs over or under. Or if you really think that the Dodgers are going to roll tonight, give the 1.5 at minus 108. That saves the 220. I honestly thought long and hard about that. But the Red Sox performance last night changed my mind.
Yeah, it's tough. I like that you brought that up with hockey, though, because obviously when I worked for the Golden Knights, I wasn't allowed to bet hockey. I am all over those one goal, like those first period overs. Love it. Love it.
Next week you'll be able to bet
excited.
it.
Yeah, first
you'll be able to bet it.
The
Golden Knights. They go against the Kraken.
Yeah,
the
that'll
Seattle
be fun.
Kraken. Yeah.
I think the schedule makers did a good job with that, putting the two youngest franchise against each other game one.
You can bet the Golden Knights to win this division too, right?
Yeah, you have to. I think it's absurd not to. And we'll get into that later on when John Shannon joins the show as well. But like that division is so bad. All of the California teams are in rebuild mode. Like the Kraken actually have a legitimate shot at being number 2 in the division. It's insane.
Where are you going this week? Where's your college football game?
I'm going out to Arizona, Tucson, Arizona against UCLA.
Ooh, the Bruins are coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Big favorite.
Yeah, big favorite.
Okay, about a 3-touchdown favorite in that game. But you had an upset last week.
I did, and that was an 8-point.
You had Stanford over the Oregon Ducks. I may be getting in on upset Stormy. I may have to get Arizona, in the points.
Are there any college football games that you like this week that you're looking at?
No, I didn't bet the Tide because all the guys at VSiN, all my buddies, they told me how good Ole Miss was. And I was saying, oh, my goodness, we could be in trouble. Trouble? We were up 3 touchdowns before the first quarter was over. What were they telling me? These guys follow this more than I do. I should have been listening to them. I should have just come in and asked you about where you were going to be and bet the underdog.
Oh, my gosh. No, I'm a hot mess. I liked my unders did well for college football, but I was just checking to watch the Alabama game. Like, my game was on at the exact same time. Right. So when there's breaks, you check scores
check
or whatever.
Out. Of course, you got to see what the
scores are. And I look over and I see Arkansas getting blown out, Ole Miss getting wrecked.
Georgia's defense is really good.
They're legit.
I mean, really good. If we get 2 undefeateds in the FCC championship, they don't play in the regular season, I don't believe. So it'll be Georgia and Alabama and Atlanta. Oh, that'll be a
dogfight. That'll be a fun one.
That might be for the national championship.
It should be.
Yeah,
right.
That could be.
It's 1-2.
And the loser, if it's competitive, the loser probably has a chance to get to the Final Four also. Because they've got such high rankings during the regular season. At first, I thought maybe the Gators could stick with them when they go for the cocktail party down in Jacksonville, but I'm not so sure now. Okay, because I did watch Kentucky at the end of the game because Mark Stoops and I love Mark. I mean, we used to go down and drink a little bourbon together. He had his name on the bottle. I mean, if you win some games in Kentucky, they always put your name on a booze bottle. I mean, that's the way it is. Okay, so I was happy for him because I've done some games. Between the Gators and Kentucky, and Gators always won. Okay, I remember one time we had a 3 overtime game in Gainesville, and I felt so bad for Mark because they hadn't won a past round or whatever happened, and of course the Gators won the game again. So we shall see. But tonight, I'm all about Max Scherzer and the Dodgers. Okay. I won't be able to eat for the rest of the week unless the Dodgers get my money back that the Red Sox took from me last night. By the way.
Yeah, every time that Brent is in studio, I've learned that it's not to see me. It's with a purpose. You have a purpose when you come back to the sports book.
I go down and refund my app, okay?
We'll get back to the NFL here real quickly because one of the top stories in the league was Stephon Gilmore moving on from the Patriots and getting signed by the Carolina Panthers. What a get for them.
Yeah, it was a trade.
Yep.
They were gonna turn him loose.
Release him, yep.
So, and that was a great move by the Patriots because as soon as they said that, here came the phone calls, okay? Listen, I'm sure the Raiders thought long and hard about this one. But he was going to be very expensive, okay? And believe it or not, but the owner of the Carolina Panthers, who bought them a couple years ago, he's the richest owner in the league, okay? Hedge fund dude, okay? So I knew they had money under the cap also, so they were able to sign him. He's a very great signing. Originally went to Buffalo, became a free agent, signed by the Patriots, and now he is a Panther. I think they only gave up a 6th-round draft choice for him.
Yep, next year.
He's a big-time corner, okay? There are some kids that separate back there, and, man, I would have loved to have seen him Sunday against Robinson of the Bears, but it's not to be. And, if both the Raiders and the Panthers had called and made an offer, let's say that the Raiders offered a 5th and the Panthers offered a 6th, they were still going to sign to the Panthers. They don't want anything to do with him in the conference. Get him out of here.
Makes sense.
Okay? Let's play him once every 4 years rather than, once every year maybe or every couple of years. And so, yeah, that was a big move this week in the league. And, oh, by the way, Stormy, there's a heck of a game on Sunday night, okay? In my opinion, the Bills are a main contender in the AFC, okay? We can't eliminate the Chiefs, obviously. But Bills and Chiefs in Kansas City on Sunday night. Now, we had the Patriots. We were treated to that game with the Patriots and the Buccaneers.
You called that, by the way. I know that the Patriots didn't get the upset,
right,
but you were the one person all week long that was saying, hey, Bill Belichick knows what he's doing in this game.
Absolutely. There was just, defensively, he knew certain things that, and I want to tell you something. Let's be perfectly honest. The loss of Gronkowski really hurt the Buccaneers, okay? Brady is a quarterback who loves a receiver in a game. Sometimes it was Edelman, sometimes Gronkowski, okay? Sometimes Amendola. He always has a guy, okay? And this year he has gone repeatedly to Gronkowski. I thought it hurt them a lot in trying to cover the game. I mean, they win it. Good for them. But those of us who are on the Patriots, show us the money, baby.
I missed Gronk, too. He was on my fantasy team. But, okay, real quick, we got to get out of here. But your pick for Chiefs-Bills?
Bills. In an upset.
All right. They have outscored opponents 118-21 in the last 3 games.
And Josh Allen, he may be okay.
He's on my fantasy team, too. We'll see if he's any good. Thanks so much, Brent. We'll see you again next week. Good luck to the Raiders, of course, and stick with us here on My Guys NHL Talk coming up.